and run a crew and spend time with the crew. You know, a couple hours office hours each day, or if it's light, you know, half day or one day, whatever it takes. So in order to keep that going, and I'd like to present tonight, I want to make a promotion of Robert Jantz to be the operations manager / distribution and planning and design. Robert's already in the engineering, distribution, plan and design position, and he's been with the company about 25.5 years. Robert's really knowledgeable on the inside. Everything goes on the inside of this job, so if we could do that, that would still free me up to do how I was wanting to kind of reconstruct these jobs. And we wouldn't be on alignment, and I'd still be out, you know, pushing through, and Robert could be helping on the inside, computer work and stuff like that.
You got a job description for that position? Is there a job description?
And no, I apologize for that. I have not put one together. I can, and I should be able to do it fairly quickly. Can. And I mean, I could do it, have it in the board's hands as early as tomorrow. It'll just be providing some of the stuff that we already have in place and dissecting some of the stuff that we had in for bills. And just completely went over my head, didn't even think about that. But right now, Robert has jumped in and has done a tremendous job helping out with the transition that we have had at this point in time. But back on the job description, that's on me. I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll make a motion that we allow the promotion.
Okay.
And at the next board meeting, bring the job description
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
We can
Approve that.
get that approved.
Okay.
Put in the minutes.
Okay.
With the rest of the job description.
Okay.
Would there be a salary resolution with that?
Yes, and I have one prepared for tonight if we could, and unless you want to wait for the job description. And it would be, right now, we have it figured at a $7,500 increase for the added responsibilities that is going on. But that would be your guys' call if you want to wait for job description or present that tonight. It's your discretion on that.
I'm good with this, approving it all now, and then we have the job description.
Okay. Well, we need one anyway for a new position. We created a new job description for Phil. And we can, I will get that to you. And I'll get you from our liaison standpoint, I'll get you a draft of it to look at, like I said, I'll do that, and I'll get you tomorrow.
Second. I'll second. Okay, we have a motion by Kent and a second by me.
I got some more discussion.
Okay, let's get one discussion here. We have the motion and the second, now we'll have the discussion. Go ahead.
Obviously, by making this transition, there's there's a tremendous savings because of not replacing.
Yes.
It's still it's not a negative impact to the operating budget.
Yeah, we actually we're gaining about we'll still be gaining about $70,000 by doing the transition this way from year to year. Yes.
So,
One related thing. So with this organizational change, is this the total extent of it? Are there any other changes that come rolled out later? That we
No.
hear about down the road?
I don't foresee any, Rick, at least not this year. If it is, it would be a financial impact, probably. Phil and I would, let him get his feet wet some more. He's doing a fantastic job, by the way, for being in 2 months. We're making progress already. But, I just don't foresee any right now. Phil may have a different perspective on that. We can ask him. But I think we're good with with the transitions that we're making, and will be pretty solid for the future.
Well, I absolutely think this is essential. Everybody's successful, so you'll have the backup, point person and so forth, so vacation coverage, whatever. So however you look at it, I'm determined for you. So, thank you.
But it'll help freeze up, we don't, lose me out on the lot either.
And we're gonna be all hands on deck when we get on the State Road 28 project, which Phil, they're wanting us to get in there in April.
Yeah.
And we'll have both crews will be on the 28 project for a good while. You'll see them, if you need to find them, that's where they'll be for probably 6 to 8 weeks for sure.
We have any other discussion? Let's have a roll call for the motion.
Rick Tenion.
Aye.
Joe Root.
Aye.
Mike Reeder.
Aye.
Kent Brewer.
Aye.
Mike Kelly.
Aye.
And Mike, I have a resolution here.
Okay.
I have it with me. And on this, you'll see that it's a 2-line thing, and because we didn't take care of it after Mike left, where the superintendent is now, it's 0 on our salary resolution as well.
What's your resolution?
The resolution number is 2021-03-01-01.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll fill you in. The superintendent, the amount it has on your rate is 0. The amount for the operations manager is $35.52 per hour. And there'll be one for the sign, okay? We have the motion and the second. Roll call, please, Andrew.
Rick Tenion.
Aye.
Joe Root.
Aye.
Mike Reeder.
Aye.
Kent Brewer.
Aye.
Mike Kelly.
Aye. Okay, Chris, you want to go next?
Just reviewing shop drawings for State Road 28.
Can I make a suggestion? I have a really hard time hearing in here. If you would stand and move a little bit away from people, the person that's speaking, and take the mask off, I'm comfortable with that. Is everyone else okay with that?
Yeah. Reviewing shop drawings for State Road 28 Washington Avenue. There should be wrapped up within probably a week or so. The maintenance guys have been, we're starting today, cutting and concreting holes for main break. We've got about 7 of them in the last 2 weeks. A couple of them were all-nighters, when guys get called in at 9 or 10. They get down until 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning. These guys are continuing to upload service record cards. There's roughly 6 or 7,000 of those to do. And then mainly take pictures of those one at a time and put into Silversmith, and then one of the operators and paint inside the box. That's it for right now. Questions? Comments? Thank you, Chris. DJ?
So we've been doing some painting and there's routine maintenance. We did get our generator serviced. It's been a couple of years taking service, but we do oil tests and antifreeze tests on the past issue. So we did that in-house and we're done. The 2 biggest things that we'd be interested in most probably is east wall on the pad building is now being demoed for repair. They cut a rebar in the wrong spot, so they are demoing that now and taking that. And then the chlorine contact tank that we approved earlier to be repaired, they started on that today. And it should be done by Wednesday.
I get that involved in that pretty deeply.
Yep.
Anything from your standpoint on that?
Construction's going extremely well. During the snow, kind of slowed them down a little bit. But if you haven't been out there for a while, I encourage you to go out and see it because it's all changed. It's looking a whole lot better.
While we're on the subject, and you're you're there with us, Mike. There was an attached, or we got an email from Bridget last week, and it was 323 pages long. I think you got it.
Sure did.
And it was too big to get into the file and the board packets. But the main concern is the front page, and it has to do with two change notices that Mike was involved in, Kent was involved in both of them. And I have the front page here to sign, and I think you being the signatory on this one. But I thought it had to come to the board to get board approval since we're using contingency money on this. So I do have that page for you to sign once it's.
How much thousand?
175, 338.
175,000 of the contingency money needs to be spent for some changes at the wastewater treatment plant. Does anybody have a problem with me signing that?
Let's go ahead and just make the motion to
Okay.
approve the signature. Make the motion to approve the signature. Motion by Joe,
I'll second it.
second by Ken. Okay, roll call.
I just want to ask.
Yeah.
Mr. Beck, familiar with this, and you okay with this?
Okay.
Pardon?
Are you okay with this?
Yes, I've read through it. Everything looks fine.
All right, thank you, Mike.
These are all things that have previously been approved. This makes it formal.
Oh, I hadn't heard that part. Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Rick Duncan,
All right.
Mike Reeder,
Aye.
Joe Ruth,
Aye.
Kent Brewer,
All right.
Mike Kelly.
Aye. Is that PJ?
That's it, thank you.
Okay. Jim hasn't come on, so do you have anything from Jim?
Yes, I do. Right now it's through this week's when we do a lot of cameling. We found over towards what I call the Wabash National Homes over in there, that we had some water main breaks in some of our, according to our maps, our sewer lines are off. So we're recammering, getting new distances and stuff this week. We did have a sewer call out over the weekend. It was on us. There was a root wall in there our guys took care of. But there was a second call as well where the people on Washington Avenue, when they were the last time they were in town boring, they didn't hit one tap, they hit a second tap. It just, as all the snow melted, it filled up the guy's basement. So that big hole that you see on Washington Avenue was due to that construction company coming into town last night, and they fixed it. Our guys didn't go out and fix it, they fixed it. And then it was inspected today and everything was put back correctly. And we're working on, I did not get the prices from when we spoke last week about lining along State Road 28. Those two different places, we're looking for bids from two different places, but we did get a bid on lining the manholes if we choose to do that. It came in to do 250 feet, which will take care of about 26 of those manholes out there. It would be around $51,000 to do those. So we're waiting on the price on the lining before we come back for approval on which way we want to go with those.
These manholes, they're the worst ones.
Yes, yes.
Well, Bill, you guys know, it's on the south side of 28, down in the Gulf, down inside the, which is where the sanitary sewer is. And 5 years ago, Leslie's done some studies.
2015.
And they gave us a list of things that need to be repaired to get rid of the water infiltration that's going out to the wastewater treatment plant. And so that's what when we met last week, we talked about, let's get some prices. You know, and we learned that to stop the stormwater infiltration in the sewer system.
At one time, we had a price to do the manholes. To do that many manholes was over $100,000. That's out 15 minutes. Like I said, it was 50, it's either 51 or 53, but I'm pretty sure it was just a little over 51,000 to do. And that's where we're getting a lot of it, because the people are mowing ditches, knocking the manhole off the barrel, and the water infiltration coming in through that way and things like that. So and if they line the manhole, then they can be bolted down and secured to where they cannot be knocked off anymore. And it's just, we're just getting terrible infiltration through that septic. Okay?
Rick, I have, any update on things at the lagoons? I know we had to close them down for a few days last week.
Yeah, I think, there's a quick decision. I kind of got aware of it at tail end, that it was the right decision. Todd and I talked a couple times, I was out there a couple times. I think we, at least Todd and I talked in terms of, we need to maybe get a little more proactive and how we're controlling access to the lagoons. And so, TJ and Todd are working on a close, am I right?
Yes.
Gate.
I haven't broken news to PJ yet, but yes,
Okay.
we will. Yes.
I know.
Last week was hectic all the way around.
Is to have a lockable, welded pipe type access gate, down near the road access, not back at the lagoons per se, but down near the road. I asked Todd to also take a look at, is there a security light on that pole there? And if there's not, let's get one. And then depending on the money available, we may do a couple more changes right there at that access point. So, I've had a request from the vendor, who can give me some numbers and budget dollars available. The other thing I would say is initially my thought last summer, as Todd and I looked at the lagoons, and conditioned several things around the lagoons. Originally, the thought was perhaps using some of our utility labor to do some repairs. I'm glad we didn't start that because I think that's probably the wrong way to go. I'd rather go down the direction of getting formal open quotes for certain jobs and letting people in the Frankfurt area quote on those jobs and get them done in a more proper manner. I think our people are busy enough and so forth. With utilities, the one exception area, I think our power and light tree trimming people are probably best prepared to trim some tree limbs back along the perimeter of the north wildlife wetlands area. So I'd like to keep that kind of discussion that Todd and I had to work that direction, keep that on the table. We're getting that this spring this time, so let's get a little more viewing access to the wildlife wetlands area. So at the next board meeting, I'll bring back a list of improvements and repairs that I'd like to tackle this year and go out and get close to it, depending on what money we're available.
Rick, I think several years ago back in, I think it's Phil helped me out here, Northwood Estates. We hired a tree trimming crew to come in and help clean up back there on the back side of those houses and all that.
Yeah, but I don't recall who that was, yeah.
Yeah. I would, with the lagoon stuff, I think we entertain checking that out. Because
Okay.
I believe our tree trimming crew is probably got enough after seeing what they're having to do out here on the industrial park and cleaning that up and with other things. And, you know, we will, we get it and whatever we need to do, we'll see if we can round up the funding to get.
I looked at that.
Care of it.
I looked at that, I know some of the tree trimming companies in the area are hugely expensive, some of them. And we don't need to pick the most expensive ones, but I'm happy to look close and tackle both ways and see what makes sense.
I don't know if we can go back in the minutes of when we did that reconstruction back there and,
And for a while, we moved everything out front, the alley trees, those always.
Put all the underground so we can replace it.
Sarah might be able to go through a vendor's list.
That's what I was just gonna say.
If
If we do what we really.
Yeah, I'll check with Sarah in the morning to see if she has a vendor's list or a claim or something.
They would be fairly reasonable. We thought back.
Well, there's one in Lebanon right now, isn't there? Are they still working in Lebanon? Do you know, Phil?
Lebanon's got an Aspen crew
Aspen?
contracted with them.
I'm happy to look at anything. I'm a little bit unsure of where we stand money-wise. I think for a number of years, there was money allocated to the buildings, but not spent. My recollection isn't detailed on that, so I don't know what that recurring balance should have grown to. But I've asked our internal auditor to look at that.
Does the city, Clarence, do you know, does the city still have a line item of $1,000 or something like that in their budgets for the lagoons from donations?
I'm not sure.
Okay, at one time, that's where the donations went and showed up in the city council budgets.
Yeah.
We can inquire about that as
Well,
well.
Andrew and I have talked about this, I think, 6-9 months ago,
Okay,
and that's the part of this request, it's not just in the utilities side, it's community donations, it's,
Would that fit under the board of work?
it may have been, I can't remember.
I think it was.
I don't remember being on any of it.
Right.
I think it was in the building.
I know they was paying a light bill, a couple of them, was when they still on, and they was getting billed.
Okay,
Andrew is very familiar with both sides of that
okay,
transaction stuff, so if we could rely on him, I think he'll do a fine job for figuring out.
works for me, okay.
I'll work on that.
Great. And appreciate your idea, probably very, very good. I wasn't aware of the nature of the work out by the electric part going on. What do you think, Sam? Okay. Good.
Moving on to the general manager.
I got a few things. One is we have a pre-close for the SRF for water Wednesday morning at 10. Been a lot of work on Chris's part, Becky's part, my part, fielding phone calls, emails, and getting all the correct information. And there less has been involved. I think I even spoke to Alicia about a couple of them. But it looks like as of right now, everything's set. And the pre-close is the big hurdle. The closing is this, once we get through Wednesday at 10 o'clock, we'll be good to go. And with that, Westlers will be at the next meeting to award the bids on the 15th of all three projects. So we should be in good shape after Wednesday on that. Chris, did I miss anything on the SRS stuff that we've been working on?
No, not really. I mean, we have a few things number-wise that will show Kent ahead of time
Yeah,
if he's on the water committee, but other than that,
should be pretty solid. It sounds like it's been a lot of work, a lot more than what the wastewater was, but we got there. So, second thing I have is a signatory resolution, which we have to get this signed into them tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to email it to Andrew this evening. And we have to do the same thing for with wastewater, for Mike Reader to sign all the claims that come in. And this one's typed up to have it as Kent's, and Mike Reader as the backup since he's accustomed to doing them right now. But it is resolution number 2021-03-01-02. And this came up actually after the board packet went out. Well, no, we got this one in the board packet, but I put a number on it, Mike, so I have this one. If we can get this signed, and then I'll get it to Andrew Lanham and Andrew Day to put in on your guys' how's that called? Base camp. There you go. So I have that.
Okay.
We don't need a motion
A
on
motion to approve, resolution 2021-03-01-02, authorized representing, Joe moves, and second, Rick. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Mike Reeder,
Aye.
Rick Dunyon,
Aye.
Joe Ruth,
Aye.
Kent Brewer,
Aye.
Mike Kelly.
Aye.
And then I guess my last thing is I want to thank everybody that's here, and hopefully they'll pass it along to, all the guys that have been out in this weather the last couple of weeks. It's been brutal. We've had poles hit, we've had water main breaks, we've had sewer issues, and everybody was trooping a lot of snow to move, helped out on the square with that, with Tim's crew. PJ's crew out there dealing with things and construction as well, but I just want to thank everybody for what they've done in that weather, and if you guys would pass along to everybody as well, because it's, there was a couple days that it was brutally cold, and we had one day have a cold hit, and like Chris said, I think that night the guys were out all night long and hit 14 below, when they were out there for 8 straight hours, and it's just tough, but everybody's done a great job, and everybody stayed safe, so that was the main thing.
This is probably a general question. Okay, they're starting 28, basically April, 1st of April sometime,
They're
right?
gonna start shutting, from what we know, they're gonna start shutting them down on April 1st.
What about Washington Avenue?
Once again, there's equipment down there, and I heard 2 dates. I've heard March 1st, which did happen today, and then April for sure. But they did actually start some of the work on 28 by tree clearing last week on 28, so they're getting started on some of it. The construction manager is on site now, all week long, so they're moving along.
How many poles do we have to move on 28?
Bill, do you know that?
The first phase will be from the railroad tracks, looking back towards the First Street, 20th Street area. Around 15 through there.
Because you drive down through there now, you kind of get in a picture of the paint for the right-of-ways and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the way.
Yeah, well, they kind of threw a monkey wrench at us too, because they were supposed to start at 200 and go east. Now we're starting at Jackson Street and going west. So we're hoping that they close down the eastbound lanes so that we can get in there and work on the eastbound lane and not have to deal with the traffic, or they're gonna have to close the whole road for us to get in, one of the two. Yeah, that was kind of a surprise to us. They're starting at Jackson, because the intersection at Jackson and Walnut's gonna be closed for 4 or 5 days.
5-day closure.
5-day closure right there.
Are they doing a local detour, or are they doing a,
They can't do local detour. No state project can't use local roads, so they have to do state roads. They should. They should. I hope they do.
Should's not a word. Either they are or they aren't.
I can't answer what the Board of Works knows and what they don't know.
Who's controlling what's around this
Jason Forsythe.
thing? Did someone approach the mayor and at least say, are you aware we're gonna have the 2 major east-west roads down at the same time?
From what I just heard, they're clear that they're gonna have both roads closed at the same time.
From what you just heard from
the radio?
From the media, from our media.
Here's why I don't want that happen.
Mhm.
I don't want a bunch of changes and raise, but the utilities is wearing all this, and nobody told me to.
We're done with Washington Avenue. So
I understand. That's
we won't have anything in, we have all the poles relocated and everything in Washington Avenue. And, State Road 28, like I said, if they close the eastbound lane, then we're good as gold. But it's not on us, it's a state project, and we have to go by their schedule. So,
And what I'm saying is, we have knowledge, we're aware of the schedule.
yes,
I have not attended a city council meeting and a board of meeting in years. What they do or do not know, I have no idea about.
neither do I can't answer I just had to go off of what Ken just told me, and he goes to them, so.
Well, let me-
Jason go to those meetings?
Who?
What? Does Jason Forsythe go to
Yes.
those?
Yes.
So it should be his responsibility to inform his upper.
But I know, we had to do 2 releases from Andy today, as
stories together on CCDN. One of those, the city of Frankfurt and the, street department will not have a say in what goes on, period.
Because it's a both state project.
Yeah, one of the other end of project, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about claims.
I'm going to accept claims as presented.
Motion by Kent,
Second.
who's second?
Second.
Second by Rick. Roll call.
Joe Root,
Aye.
Mike Weir,
Aye.
Rick Tenium,
Aye.
Kim Brewer,
Aye.
Mike Kelly.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Alicia, what do you got for us tonight? Anything?
Do you want to talk about that more title issue? I don't know.
Oh, we can, I forgot all about it, I had talked to you. So I forgot all about it.
The only thing I have, so more title contacted me, and I don't know that this is really our problem, but, apparently the K company is trying to sell some real estate. And apparently when they were doing the title search on the real estate that the K company is trying to sell, they discovered that City Light and Power owns one of the parcels of real estate that they are trying to sell. And so More Title asked me if we would sign over that parcel to K company, which we cannot do. And so I informed them that we can't do that. And so I guess the question is, the board has a couple of options. Option one, we could potentially sell it to K company and go through the process and do that. Option two, we could say, this isn't our problem, figure it out, K company, and, just ignore it and let them deal with whatever consequences occur from them selling something that they don't have title to. It does not make a difference to me, but I do feel like if they want to purchase it, it is going to take some legal work to do that. We will have to publish it, we will have to provide notice. So I don't know if that's something that you all want to pursue, and if you want to pay for it, or if pay companies should pay for it, or if you want me to approach pay company about paying for it, or what. My perspective kind of is that if we want to do something, it's kind of out of the goodness of the heart to do something, and it's really not something that we have to do. I don't really understand how this land was overlooked. They believed they owned it, but when they did the title search, turns out they don't.
There was a,
Have you looked at
Is that where the transfer?
yeah, I said what it was, there was a, there wasn't a substation, it was a little substation, and it's a piece of concrete that is, what do you say, 45 by 72?
Yeah, it's like 40 by 80.
Yeah, and it's just a piece of concrete that sits up next to their building where a substation used to be years ago. You know when it was wrecked out, Phil?
I read it out,
You wrecked it out?
I did,
But if you take the concrete out.
when Donald was here,
Oh, okay.
so.
So that's the size of property that we're talking about here, the concrete pad that.
Can we give it away?
We cannot give it away.
Can we sell it for $1?
I don't know that we can sell it for $1, but we can sell it to them. Basically, what the statute says is that since they're an abutting landowner, and I don't know, is there anybody else?
No,
around
their property
They surround it,
Mhm.
so they'd be the only abutting landowner that could purchase it. But basically, we have to provide notice, we have to publish it in the newspaper, we have to have an offering price. If it's assessed for more than $6,000, which I don't know whether or not it is, I didn't have a chance to talk to you about that. But whether it's assessed for more than $6,000, if it's not, we don't have to do an appraisal. If it is, then we have to do an appraisal, and then we would have to offer it at the appraised price plus cost in order for them to have it. We can't just give it away.
I think another issue too is there that the utilities does not own property, the city owns it.
Well,
We did not have to do the-
No,
it's
this one,
deeded,
Bill.
it's deeded to City Light and Power. So the title rests in City Light and Power. So that's how old this is, so is that it's City Light and Power property, and we don't own property anymore. So, so we can offer it to K company. If it's under $6,000, we can set a low price, offer it to K company. But we have to publish and we have to do all this work in order to do it. We can't just
My personal feeling is if they would pay for everything that has to be done to get it to them,
Substation down before the south side, so it was taken out.
So it's,
Several years.
what's that?
are you saying we won't incur any cost? on our-
No cost to us.
I'm in agreement, if we incur no cost, let's find out if it's 6,000 or less, that might be the easiest one.
Okay,
But I don't wanna be paying for, out of the goodness of our heart, our ratepayers paying for something that the owners of the cake company are gonna have financial gain over, they can pay that bill, not us, in my mind.
so what I'm hearing is find out if it's $6,000 assessed value or less, and if it's less than $6,000, we can sell it to them for the cost of the legal services and the publication and all of that, is that what I'm hearing?
Right?
Okay. Is there-
And the 6,000, based on what you said, is
The 6,000 is from the statute. So the statute says that if it's less than $6,000 assessed value, you don't have to have an appraisal. If it's more than $6,000 assessed value, then we're gonna have to have an
so
appraisal.
that property
And sell it.
have an assessed value of the courthouse. and the assessed value.
Yeah, I just need to call the assessor, and I just didn't have a chance to do that before.
That's my fault.
So do we want to just investigate, the next meeting, we make a decision? Is that okay with you all?
I think that's
Okay.
the tax part on it,
Well, the problem is that, on Beacon, you can't just pull it up on Beacon because it doesn't have any information on there. I tried that, so I have to actually call the assessor, and by the time I remembered to do it today, it was after 4, so they were gone. But I will call, and then I'll just call Moore Title and let them know that this is at least going to be, they're not going to close until at least after our next meeting. Okay, that's really all I have, though, at this point.
Okay. Any old business? Chris?
On that topic, there's a hydrant that the city owns. It's south of the south building, between Jefferson and Morrison, is that right? And the K company, that'd be in between those two roads.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a hydrant inside their fence and their property. That's always been considered ours. And then the hydrant out on the sidewalk is a private hydrant that's theirs. Could we possibly see about getting rid of that hydrant and turning that over to them in that deal? Or not?
I will have to look. Because we just have the physical hydrant.
See, the one time,
I would
McClure, it's
even
McClure,
address
isn't
or
it?
anything,
Yeah.
I know.
McClure Street used to run straight through there,
Okay,
and then that part of the street was abandoned,
okay.
and we actually have a manhole inside one of their buildings.
So just to make sure I'm clear, we just wanna have them take over the care and maintenance of the hydrant, and we're
Yes.
not
If
involved.
that's possible.
I will look. I don't know the answer, but I will look.
So do these new owners know that there is a utility easement in this building?
I can't answer that for you.
Well, so, it was,
But there has to be, because I'm not kidding you, it's right in the middle of the building to the south.
active?
Yeah, they're actually,
God.
they have their own little lift station in from one of the buildings. It goes in and dumps in that, and then it runs down the Clerk Street. Yeah, it's active.
You have an easement through the.
Well, the way that some people back in the days, anything that they could take, they would.
Well, and that's
They
how this
they
happened.
probably seem to think that it's ours, but we need to probably check in that once again before the sale is done. I forgot all about that manhole until you
Well,
first mentioned the,
I've got the title commitment
okay.
for that, so I'll look at the title commitment and see if that's on there. That easement is on there.
So we should have an easement on there. or something.
Yeah, there should be an easement, there should be an acceptance of the title commitment.
Yeah, it's active.
So that, and that's out,
Yes,
and we want to keep that.
yes.
So
We
we
have
need,
to.
so if we don't have an easement, we need an easement.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
So we'll have to have, sorry, we'll have to have
I know it's
access,
making it more complicated, I
have to have
feel like.
access to that manhole.
Yep.
That would
Oh.
Three utility
turn it into a private.
Anybody else?
I hope not, Rick.
Are there any other issues I need to take care of? Just fire hydrant, the easement, the manhole, and then this random piece of ground.
Yeah.
Everything fit on. Okay.
Do we really want to easement to the manhole or turn it over to them if we even find a lift station?
It's our managed.
No, they have their own lift station out on,
Sanitary.
out in the parking lot. No, we have to have it.
It's our sanitary line that goes down the alley, just like up along Goodman's.
Yes.
If the
Well-
city would abandon that.
This might work in our favor, because we don't wanna charge them a lot of money, but we need consideration potentially to gain an easement to that manhole, so we could potentially spray the easement and the cost and use that as consideration for this.
They want to, let's make them pay for all of it.
I mean, that's fine by me, but I mean, at the bottom line is, you don't have an easement, and it doesn't show up on my title commitment that I got from more titles, and we need to get an easement before that's sold, so it shows up on the title commitment, so the new buyers know that it's there.
Just tell the buyer that we own on the private, look at that.
Yes, as far as I know, yes.
We got some money.
Yes.
I'm not gonna do it.
When the Piper Cab.
Okay, all right, well, I'll fix this.
All right. I think that's kind of like, that's like new business. Any other new business? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Bill.
Yeah, so I was looking
Yeah.
at.